Thundurus' first time available for the Open Great League as a Shadow, and today we're going to take a look at how funny this Pokemon actually is, because it's actually really solid. It has access to the fast move Thunder Shock, generating a ton of energy, Thunder Punch, which is quite fast to get to as well in a stab move, and also Brick Break. And funnily enough, the best move on this Pokemon is Brick Break. Brick Break got buffed this season, making it actually a little bit stronger, having 10 plus extra damage on it, which actually changes quite a bit, because Brick Break has a secondary effect as well, which is to drop the opponent's defense by one stage, which honestly it helps out a ton. But I had a ton of fun battles here today with a very fun team as well. We have the Shadow Zapdos in the back as well as a closer, and yeah, let's see how things gonna go as the first opponent decides to forfeit basically immediately. So, we're going to have here the almighty Anna against us. That is not going to be the ideal matchup, and I feel like I kind of misplay this a tiny bit here. We're going to have at the end of the day an ABB style line, so you kind of want to keep your lead alive, but I was thinking maybe they go for the Poison Fang. They're never going to go for the Poison Fang here. It's of course going to be a Crunch, but we swap out into our Thundurus, and we sadly get out the Gastrodon out of rather seen the other Pokemon here against it, like the Zapdos, who have been so much stronger. And here I was thinking this was like one of my first battles that I would still survive the Body Slam a little bit better with my Thundurus, but I actually go down here without getting another Brick Break off, and that is going to change the battle quite a bit. If I got this Brick Break off, I would have either knocked them out or got the shield. Very likely rather got the shield there, and I would have been in such a better position because then I had a way more chance basically with my Zapdos. But now I have to kind of try to play around this and try to utilize my Zapdos at the best potential way. But as you can see, they have the Wigglytuff in the back. I'm fairly certain I would have had no chance anyway, because Wigglytuff has too much fast move pressure for the squishiness that this team is going to have here. And so we're sadly going to not win this battle, as they're going to shield up both of our Thunderbolts, of course, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will face off against a Shadow Scissor. And honestly, I'm quite alright with that. I can resist the fast move Scissor on all three of my Pokemon, which is kind of cool. Like, the Steel typing is always resisted with all my Pokemon, which is amazing. And here, if they shield this move up, I still gonna get to another Body Slam, knock them out. If they no shield this, I'm going to be fine as well. Yeah, this is going to be a Night Slash, and I think they actually make a really good play here by waiting one turn before going for the Night Slash, which now means this is a CMP tie that is usually not a CMP tie, which means they waste my energy, but I will try to utilize this one here to get energy on my Thundurus early. Thundurus is my safer because Thundurus has a really cool coverage with a Brick Break, because what we have in the meta currently is a Bastiodon, and trust me, I faced, I think, with this team at least like 4 or 5 Bastiodon. Like, they were everywhere. And especially later on, you're going to see on how nice this Pokemon can play against Bastiodon, as here we are going to be able to get the Thunder Punch off against the opponent's Empoleon, knocking them out in the meantime as well. And we have Zapdos against Moltres. It's kind of funny to see those Gen 1 birds, even though, of course, the opponent has the Galarian version of the Moltres. But we're going to be able to win this battle with all three of our Pokemon. And now we're going to go up against a Gastrodon, and I just want to get this Pokemon low. That is my only real goal here. I don't actually really need to align myself here directly, I feel like, because yeah, with Gastrodon there, it's very unlikely that they're going to have something like a Bastion in the back or something like this, like you don't really have. Like, I mean, actually, it's not the worst core together either, but here I try to get as much energy as possible, and they're going to go into the Licky. And we will see here that they have now the Brick Break that is going to be able to pressure the opponent, dropping the opponent's defense. But look at the damage output for a Brick Break. This is actually doing so much damage. Of course, Thundurus is one of the squishiest Pokemon, one of the craziest glass cannon basically here. And this Brick Break will knock them out now, as we will see that they're going to have in the back is still a Bastion. They actually have a Bastion in the back, which is kind of unfortunate. It makes somewhat sense because this team allows you to basically cover up the flying type weakness of Gastrodon with the backline that you have with the Licky as well as Bastiodon. But yeah, we have still charge move stored. I should have shielded this move. That is a mistake here by not shielding the Body Slam. I thought it would do a little bit less, but also I was thinking I'm very likely going to get to move with a Bastion. I do think I would have lost no matter what, because at the end of the day, I do think the Bastion would have got to a move in time, but I would have needed to still get to a Drill Peck and get the shield in order to have a chance here of winning, because I had my move stored there, but the opponent still had a shield left. Okay, next opponent. Here we see on what the Thundurus can do against Bastiodon. This is the thing. This is going to happen plenty more times here as well in this video, that we're going to have Bastion against us. But look at this. We are always getting to 2 brick breaks, and we are always going to be able to knock them out if they would allow us. But we have a very tough matchup here generally. We're getting completely hardwalled from the beginning. Like, they are Toadscool in the lead. We have nothing that I can do against. We had, the Bastion against our flying type Pokemon. As long as I maybe have something that's not a Steelix or something in the back, we should be... Okay. Like, we're still trying our best here, but this is just the hardest potential wall for this team that you can have. Like, I don't think there's anything that you can do otherwise that's even a harder wall towards it. Like, you have Bastion Steelix against our 2 flying types, and you have a Grass type against our Ground and Water type. This is just already very tough from the team comp. But I actually didn't really want to give up here yet, because what we have is we still have a shield advantage and we have an energy advantage. The issue is I didn't get the drill pick off against that Steelix, which I really needed the last one there. And this kind of changes the battle, because now I kind of am too low. I'm just too low with my own health because I got the Psychic Fangs off. They are now doing more damage with their Toadscool. And with that, I only have the option here to go for another Water Pulse to try to see if they're gonna no shield, but I still have a shield left. There was nothing I could have done. Like this, like I played this kind of perfect, but the opponent just had a complete hard wall to our team. But trust me, there are going to be some fun wins still coming up here, as we're going to have the Dusknoir against us in the lead. That's going to be a bit more tricky. I go for the Body Slam, and I actually decided to let this move go here. It's just more psychological than anything else, because I want them to shield this, and I think they think, okay, I can farm them down now afterwards if I shield this move up, and that's exactly what they are trying to do. This is what I wanted to achieve here now, because I have to go into my, Thundurus, and look what's coming in again. It's going to be Bastiodon. Bastion is going to be a needy every battle that's coming up here still, and this is the thing as well. While yes, we have here a very interesting answer to Bastiodon, and this works out quite well here again, knocking them out actually. I am getting quite very tough matchups for this team in today's video. That's something that is just something we have to kind of note as well. This is going to make it more difficult in a lot of ways to win battles if you're just getting walled the entire time. I don't have to really tell you that. That just happened here today. Like, I had so many anti-flyers against my flying type Pokemon in the back, which can just also mean that this team itself doesn't really work as much, because I've been playing like this team with like Toucannon and the Corviknight, and I had great success. Maybe people are also just preparing for it. Here, if I went for the Drill Pick bait first, this game would have been actually a little bit different, because I would have needed less energy to get to this move, which means I would have got less rollouts in, because we're actually going to have a draw here, which is kind of funny. But if I just went for the bait, I would have been able to win this battle, but at the end of the day, if they call the bait, I would have lost the battle. So like, this was more the safe play. It is what it is. Alright, I am going to go into my, into my Zapdos here against the opponent's Altaria. We had a great lead already, but this is the thing, that's like kind of the issue with this team. Of course, this is more of a fun team. We're in the interlude season. We want to try out the Thundurus. It's not like that Thundurus is like, the most broken Pokemon ever created for the Open Great League. I don't think I have to tell you that. But basically, the issue for this team is it's very difficult to maintain alignment, even if you win the lead in the beginning. It's actually better to lose the lead, in my opinion, which is a lot of times the case for AVB style lines. But because you have like such a squishy backline here, you can most of the times just win alignment if you use more shields than the opponent, which then gives you more issues later on. And this is something we see here, for example, in this battle, where the opponent now has energy here. They still have a shield advantage, and they're going to have the gyarados in the back. I tried to go for the brick break here, but I wasn't there in time. I didn't get the fast move through. The opponent was faster than me, and even though I was actually really fast swapping out, they were still outspeeding us. If we would have got the brick break off, I would say that I had a solid chance of winning, because I do feel like that this plus a fast move basically would have done enough damage to knock out the Jellicent, which then would have allowed me also to, like, of course I would have used the shield against them very likely first. It would have been allowing me to keep energy for this Pokemon, and I would have very likely had a chance of winning this. It just came down to one turn, and that's fine. But the next opponent is going to be Empoleon. In comes the Florges. Okay, that's going to be a bit more tricky, because Florges is going to be a Pokemon that has access to Trailblaze. I'm forced to swap out of here, as Trailblaze would one-shot us in the lead. And they're going to go here for their Chilling Water, and they do a lot of damage. It's actually the first battle that I ever did with this team. It's always kind of randomized in which order it is, but I remember this being the first, and I had no idea on what like Thundurus is actually doing. But yeah, the opponent has some energy here now, which is unfortunate. But I am forced to let the Chilling Water go through, because I know that they're gonna get another move anyway, and I can't just go 2 shields down. especially as the opponent still has a shield left as well. That would just be kind of a little bit bad. But at least I'm trying my best to get as much energy as possible. But I thought that the opponent needed one more fast move, which they didn't. And now I have to kind of try to farm it out with the Gaston, which works out well at least. I know about the Empoleon, which you can still beat. But we have a ton of energy now on our Pokemon. I should have went for more fast moves here. That was a mistake by me, as Water Pulse is barely doing anything. But at the end of the day, it might actually allow us to go for the full farm now. I think I'm fairly certain I should be able to go for the full farm down here, as they sub out into the Goodra. It allows me to go for the Body Slam. And why this is so important is what we're going to see here now, because this allows me to sub out and have 2 Drill Packs stored. And here is the beauty of Zapdos. Zapdos, by the way, one of the most underrated Pokemon in the Go Battle League, in my opinion. I think this Pokemon is absolutely fantastic, and people just don't use it. I feel like, I guess, like, you can argue that Toucannon just kind of took the spot that Zapdos would have had before. But again, you have like some bit of a different coverage as well in the Zapdos, which is kind of nice. But as you can see here, we're going to be able to go for the Body Slam. Is going to be enough to knock out the Empoleon. If not, I made a mistake and show one for another fast move. They survive with 1 HP, but I still win. Yeah, I made this a bit more tougher than I needed to. Okay, Pangoro is kind of bad. Pangoro has just the free option to get shields here. This is the issue for this one. If you don't have an answer for Pangoro directly, yes, we have 2 flying type Pokemon, but hey, both of them have no bulk. Yeah, it's just a bit tough. But we have here something that I can work with, which is going to be Carbink. Carbink is a Pokemon that I could try to now utilize. Here, by the way, look at the damage against the Carbink. That is crazy damage. I can utilize to get some energy with my Gastrodon. And I will try to take this opportunity. In hindsight, I would have liked to have less damage on them yet, because I only get up to 1 charge move against them, basically. But they're also going to have a hard answer to me in the back again, and I have no chance of really doing anything here. I just had a lot of tough matchups here today. I honestly just had a lot of tough matchups, but there's still going to be one really cool battle coming up, as far as I know. A battle that was quite unlikely to play out like this, but we're gonna take a look at it. Anyway, we're going to have here still the Pangoro. Pangoro is going to be in the prime position not to sweep though. They just knocked me out with the 1 move here. I still should be able to go for a move against them with my Gaston and knock them out here, because you have the Water Pulse. I overfarm by quite a bit, because I know that a Water Pulse would have not done enough damage without the Mud Slap damage here. But this is going to be enough to knock them out. In comes the Gourgeist, and yeah, we are going to go ahead and let the Seed Bomb go and lose this battle, because Gourgeist is the hardest answer to the Gastrodon. Okay, let's see on how this battle is going to turn out. Annihilate in the lead, in comes Bastion, and again, like, this Pokemon is such a pain. But Thundurus is going to be able to go for that Brick Break, dropping the opponent's defense straight away, as we can go for another Brick Break, which will now allow us to get that KO. And that is going to be crucial, because we get rid of the hardest answer for the Zapdos. In comes Gastrodon. I am going to be able to now just go ahead and let the move go. This is going to be fine. It's going to be the Rage Fist. But we still have to be a bit mindful, because I need to go for a Water Pulse here in order to get the shield from the opponent, hopefully. Or like the KO actually would be better. But they're gonna, yeah, shield the move up. I go into my Zapdos. In comes Licky Licky. I have practically no chance of winning this battle here at this point, right? Like, I'm getting walled. Like, I have no real chance of winning this one. Apparently, Licky Licky Bastion backline seems to be quite common right now. And I like actually the team from the opponent. I think it's a cool team to run. I think it's actually a very smart team to run. But I am in just really a tough time. I have just a tough time here. Like, there's not a lot that I can really do here. I'm forced to use a shield. My only hope is now that I can... Okay, they go into the Annihilate. They just sacrificed the Annihilate. And I don't know why they did this, because if I just stayed in there and forced me to go for a move, I think that would have been better off. But like this, I can just go into my Gastrodon, and this kind of tough matchup, I'm actually going to be able to win by farming down the Licky Licky. And this is going to be the first video. There's going to be more to come. I already caught myself a Froakie in Shadow, so stay tuned for the showcase for the grading for this Pokemon, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.